There's no such thing as too many projects. Case in point, this is a 1973 Shasta 1400 trailer. It's a beautiful piece of vintage Americana, and I picked it up for $1,000 here locally. I don't know what kind of shape it's in. We're going to tear into that in a little while, but I like the looks of it. I think it'll be a fun little rig for the family and I to go traveling in. It only weighs about 1,500 pounds, so I think my truck should be able to handle it without a lot of trouble. So here's the right side. It used to be white with a nice little two-tone color scheme, but the previous owner decided that it'd be a good idea to paint it with white house primer. Who knows why men do things. So moving around the front here, this takes a standard 2-inch trailer ball. Tongue weight's about 300 pounds, so no biggie there. We got some battle scars here and there. And if you want to have a look at what the original paint looked like, this left side is kind of unscathed. It's weathered, but it still has this really cool retro striping with the Shasta logo here in chrome. And then this is the Shasta wing right here. They used to mount the wings up here on the corners, but I think in 1973 they had decided that just mounting them here on the body of the trailer below the window was sufficient. I love how the wheels are set in from the body of the trailer. That just looks cool. It looks like it's fat or something. It's too big for itself. So that's the trailer. I think the next thing we need to do is have a look inside. And here we are stepping inside of the dear Shasta, straight out of 1973, except I think it looked a lot better in 1973. We've got some issues with the ceiling. I'm not sure how rotten it really is, but we'll find out. Hi, YouTube. And there are a few little spots that show evidence of structural damage. There's some water damage here, and my best guess is that if I can see water damage coming through the actual interior paneling, that means it's very likely that the structure of the unit is compromised as well. So we've got little issues like that on both corners of this window. Stepping into the kitchen now, and the lovely countertop is starting to delaminate from its underlayment particle board, which is to be expected because if this area by the window got wet, the countertop would also get wet, and particle board really doesn't like wetness. A little bit of water damage up here. The person we bought the trailer from was very enthusiastic about how the refrigerator looks nice. He couldn't tell me if it works or not, but it looks just marvelous inside. And there it is. You can be the judge, ladies and gentlemen. I like the sky blue color. Not too crazy about the crack in the interior here, but hopefully it'll work and we can reuse that. Lovely kitchen sink with the pressurized water service and the hand pump, I think. I don't know if this is big enough for me to take a shower in. This trailer doesn't have a bathroom, so I don't know. This is going to have to be the kitchen sink, bathtub, donkey washing station, whatever. That's what this sink is. Moving down under the countertop, this is where the 12-volt battery went. I don't know if it was a factory setup or not, but there's evidence of a little fire in the past. Luckily it didn't engulf the whole structure. I'm not sure if this is fire damage or water damage, but at any rate it's coming out. We don't have air conditioning, but we do have a classic duotherm glum air. I don't know, I can't read cursive very well, but that's the heater right there. And moving on over here to the kitchen, this is the lovely dinette, which makes into a bed. A lot of different things make into a bed with this trailer, which is what I really like. I can sleep across here. I can sleep up here in the bunk. I think this trailer will sleep about 6 people without a problem. Better have the tongue tied down to something though, because if you get 6 people here in the back, it'll be doing a wheelie. And if we move down here underneath the bed slash sofa assembly, I can see some really strong evidence for water damage, structural damage, both to the wall and the floor. So that just about does it for your initial walk around of the interior of the lovely 1973 Shasta 1400. When we purchased this trailer, I had really high hopes of just using it as is, at least for the season, and then focusing on cleaning it up later on, maybe in the wintertime when things got cold. But the more I look at it, the more I'm kind of leery of just taking off with it. For all I know, the structure behind these wall panels could just be powder, and the last thing that I want is to be driving down the interstate and look in my mirror and see that my trailer has crumpled into a cloud of dust. So I'm just going to have to plug my eyes, hold my nose, or whatever, and dig in, start taking things apart, and hopefully we can convert this retro, rotting, moldy, fungified mess into a trailer that somebody would be proud to go traveling in. So let's get started. So here we are starting the demolition phase. I'm taking down some electrical fixtures and starting to take off some of these old cabinets. I tried my best to take a lot of pictures before I unscrewed my first screw or untacked my first nail, so I'd have a reference, because I really don't know when we'll be putting anything back together again, and you know, memories fade. It makes into a bed. I wanted to do this restoration project without removing the windows because I wanted to keep the exterior as intact as possible. However, in order to replace this interior paneling, I need to take off these aluminum strips, which happen to be attached behind the window. So removing the window has become kind of a necessity. I've got all the little screws removed from the outside of the window, and let's see if I can take this thing out without incident. Looking better all the time. And now with the window removed, we can go ahead and remove these strips. I'm also getting my first glimpse of the rotten framing of the trailer here. The wood's pretty much turned to a powdery foam type substance, but that's why we're doing this project in the first place. I got some more of these windows out, and now I'm cutting this bed out with the Sawzall because the fasteners were driven in from this side behind the siding, and I don't want to take off the siding just yet. So I'm using my head here. Well, this is handy. We can just toss it out the back. And just like that, we've got all the windows out as well as the cabinets. And now it's on to removing some of these kitchen fixtures. And let's see if Mr. Refrigerator wants to be agreeable today. Hey, it's not too heavy. Come on. Come on. Hope it gets out the door. What do I do? What do I do? Oh, barely. Okay, going down. This is a floor model, ladies and gentlemen. How thin and flimsy these walls are. This is just a little 1x2 in here, and that's the whole width of the wall. And if you go like this, that's amazing how weak that is. And I got this trailer thinking it's much better to get a hard-walled trailer rather than a tent trailer or a pop-up trailer or something with flexible walls, but folks, that's flexible. So anyway, we'll start taking off this paneling and see what lies beneath. Well, after tearing off some of that beautiful interior wood paneling, here's what I've found. This, I think, is kind of indicative of what I'm going to find in the rest of the trailer. In the corner here, it looks like there's a little bit of water damage that started, and as you move down this piece, which is just a little bit damaged here, you go down, 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 and about halfway down it's turning more and more powdery, and then by the time you get down here where it meets the floor, it's just gone. That piece of wood has just disintegrated and is scattered, no doubt, across the United States of America or wherever this trailer has been traveling since 1973. So what I'll do is continue taking this apart, and I'll probably have to peel back some of this siding so that I can put new nails through the siding into the new piece of wood that I'll put here. So we'll just continue on and see what else we find. So now I'm outside of the trailer, if you couldn't tell already, on the opposite side of where that rotten corner board is, and I'm going to start by taking off this rain gutter thing, and then I should be able to pull back the siding enough that I can get in there and replace that rotten piece of wood. So I'll remove these screws. I've got all the screws out of this drip rail thingy, and by my calculations it should come right off. Perfect. Now that the gutter is removed, I went ahead and pulled back some of this siding. I'm not sure it was completely necessary, however. There aren't a lot of fasteners in here that were holding this corner piece in place. It was mostly the actual screws that were holding the gutter in place. And here's what it looks like on the inside. I removed what remained of this upper corner piece. This piece of wood went right here, and I'm about to cut out a new piece. However, since this is so far gone and so rotten, I went ahead and removed the opposite corner so I'd have a better pattern. One thing I really need to stay privy to is the fact that if I take apart too much of this structure, it will collapse on itself, because it's very, very flimsy, and it's basically just built with toothpicks and chewing gum, and because there's enough of those items kind of intersecting and connecting to one another, it holds its shape when it's all assembled. Well, repairing this trailer isn't going to be as easy and simple as I thought. It turns out there's quite a bit of rot, not only in the upper framing structure, but there's substantial deterioration in the floor framing as well. A cat will confirm this. So I think the best plan of attack is to just bite the bullet, tear off all the siding, and rebuild this thing from the ground up. Before the dismantling process goes much further, however, it's important to brace up some of these walls so that when I start taking off siding and some of the exterior panels, the trailer doesn't implode upon itself. So I've gathered up some 1x3 material and attached it to the walls of the trailer on one end and the floor of the trailer on the other end. And hopefully when I remove the back and this wall, this opposing wall and the front won't come crashing down with it. If it does, it won't be like I dropped a Fabergé egg on the asphalt or anything. It's still just a crummy old trailer. But it would be nice to keep this wall intact as a pattern and as a reference as I'm rebuilding this wall. So we'll start by taking off some of the exterior fixtures. We've removed the screws from these fixtures as well as the drip rails from the corners of the trailer, and it's just about time to start peeling back this siding from the walls, but that will have to wait until next time. Thanks for watching.